from Red. So as on the Red side here, they're going to get counterpick for at least one of their solo lanes. If not, 100 Thieves giving them a couple there, but they don't want to go up against Quid Sion no matter what. That is one of his scariest champions that you can't pilot. Poppy banned, J4 banned. I know there's one member in the audience who just very disappointed about that, but it has been banned all game so far. So now, let's see what 100 Thieves' blue 1 pick is.
Yeah, there's a lot of still strong picks in the game. I'm curious what they go for. Siver's still in the game. Annie, I think, is still in the game as well, and Orianna's not in the game anymore, so Annie's quite good when Orianna's out of the game, but there's not that many good AD jungles left to pair with it. So this one pick is going to pretty much shape the draft for 100 Thieves. They just go for a quick Sion.
Okay.
Pretty interesting. Trundle is banned and makes sense with the Trundle ban. Sure. So now 100 Thieves, they've kind of let us know, we're just going to put Sion on Dhokla, play a little bit of weak side, and we're going to play reactive for the rest of the map because it fits their game plan, right?
Yeah, I like that a lot, and it's one of the reasons they brought Dhokla on to be able to do, you know, like blind pick tank type stuff and slam down Sion here. So we'll see about the response from Red. The other thing is, Sion is quite good into Yorick and being able to stack up a lot off of killing the ghouls and stuff. So it is kind of a dissuader there. I'm not so nervous anymore. I would be fine if it was a Yorick answer, but they go already instantly into that Ryze. You're hoping for some Kaze counter, but how happy are you with an early Ryze with what's been taken out of the pool already?
Well, at least he can move around the map. Ryze, in general, usually does have push in a lot of matchups, or you can trade HP to get push to go for these side lane dives. They're taking the Sedge, doing pretty decent on the Sedge. I kind of really like the Cassante answer against Sion, so I'm a little bit nervous what they're going for when they lock into Sedge, because you usually want to play more of those carry top laners against the Sion with the Sejuani pick. So kind of curious what FNB has in the bag against this Sion.
I'm getting flashbacks of that Lee Sin hover right now. If it's locked in, we don't even know where it's going, but it seems like it would be jungle pick here.
I think
I've got a pretty good idea if they locked it in.
Okay, well, at least that question is no longer on our minds. It's Cassiopeia as the answer into that Ryze.
And with the Cassio coming out into the Ryze, I did want to ask you, Thinkhard, how likely is it that they flex that Ryze top for FNB?
I'm not too sure, especially with the Yone ban. Like, AD champions are not that good against Cassio. So it would be interesting. I'd be down to see it. I just don't know how good it is. And I am a little bit worried if Quid is super polished on this Cassio. And it's going to be a little bit hard to take him down with a Ryze Sejuani mid-jungle duo when you can just kind of stack HP and play front to back with the Sion Alistar.
Yeah, already, like, you have to worry about a lot of Merc Tread's value because Red are showing a lot of CC and the Ryze too. So they have to be very careful about any extra AP that they would add in. So definitely looking for the ADs on the other sides. Honestly, I feel pretty good about this like solid structure for 100 Thieves. They had really heavy skirmishes, but now they're going, okay, we have really beefy front line, and then we've got machine gun Cassiopeia for a DPS carry for later.
It's the AD carry is the big question on all of our minds, I imagine. Siver's banned away. I could imagine another AD carry ban. Plus, Red can fourth pick here an AD carry. So FBI's Shampoo theoretically could get very pinched here at the end.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of ADCs that are still in. You have the Varus, you have the Xayah. Rakan obviously pretty good, but Xayah's not the easiest to play against Cassio as well. Cassio's pretty good against like the mid-range ADCs because that's kind of the range that Cassio has. So maybe Red is looking a little bit more towards the Varus. But they don't allow crit balls in draft throughout the day, so I wouldn't be shocked if they do something I don't expect here.
Red take away the Kiana instead, so some of those AD carries are still on the table. They were really only concerned about that Sivir, and yes, they could pick the Xayah, but like you had just highlighted, not the best into that Cassiopeia, and that just makes 100 Thieves' core so solid here, as they will take away some top laners, the Aatrox and the Yorick ban.
So with the Kiana ban, I guess River's looking at like Nefiri level. He already hovered the Lee Sin. I still think Lee Sin would still be a good pick for him. But we get the stacking Smolder here for Red.
Okay, interesting. So they're trying to answer some of maybe the late game potential here. Smolder can scale very, very well once you get those stacks under your belt. See what the answer is from the Thieves is they already have the Cassiopeia.
So it's an interesting read. If you're looking at what Red did last game, maybe they felt like they had control of the game and they didn't trust their scaling. So they're trying to lock in a little bit more scaling to get them over the hump. That being said, it is a pretty tough blind. Ziggs is going to be pretty effective against this short-range team composition that Red has. They have the Ryze and the Smolder, so not too much range and not the easiest dive either.
So this like has to be a Nefaria or some carry AD jungle then, right? Okay, because they have a lot of AP on the side of 100 Thieves. All right, carry Lee Sin. Let me see that.
Can he get through the Sejuani health bar? Because, yeah, that was my concern as well, Kobe. With the 2 AP primary threats, yes, Sion's got a little more AD scaling these days, but, like, you need something to go with that AP to threaten the armor potential.
So this is the curveball, which is a Smolder top.
Smolder top.
Oh!
Which has popped up a lot in scrims in the South. They like playing it against Sion and Cassante. Sion's not the easiest to play it into because we just saw 100 Thieves. They did that pretty good swap already, so they're pretty comfortable with doing swaps at a certain point, whether it's at a minute 30 or at 4 to 5 minutes. So if they do get a good swap opportunity and trap Smolder on weak side, it does get pretty hard to play. But this is the curveball that they kind of wanted. They have the Smolder in a decent matchup. Now they have Kaisa, who can dive onto the Ziggs with the Rakan. So it is a bit of a better team composition with the Smolder flex.
Okay, so some flexibility in the draft we are seeing in Game 3 for Red Canids, who again have their back against the wall. So Thinkard, I gotta ask, definitively, I mean, you've been parrying 100 Thieves. I think you're 2-0 for favoring their draft, right? What do you think about this one?
I think 100 Thieves does win the draft again, just because like the Smolder, you do have to have really good macro to pull it off. If you miss one timer and you're stuck on weak side, it's very punishing. And 100 Thieves macro has looked pretty good the whole series.
All right, well, you heard it from Thinkard. You predicted the 3-0. Thank you so much for joining us for Pick Ban here. I'll let you go backstage to watch the rest of the game while we get into this. Backs against the wall for Red Canids Kalunga. They'll have to win 3 in a row to maintain their season and give a historic first time ever that Brazil gets 2 teams at Worlds. 100 Thieves, meanwhile, need 1 single game to qualify for Worlds and continue the heist.
Yeah, the 100 Thieves story this year. What a roller coaster it has been. Announcing very early that the organization is going to be leaving the LTA at the end of the year. And this team had such a rough beginning as well, this split. But these 100 Thieves, they have grown together and they have really been on such a big surge throughout playoffs. And they've been able to ride that momentum here to just being 1 game away of making Worlds. So huge, huge possibilities here for the Thieves to get to the international stage. And
take a long time to get to Dallas.
I like how this is also implying that both teams are trying to rob the train, right? To get the ticket to Dallas and Worlds.
One last job until, if they win this, one last job after that, as has been the story for the Thieves so far. Their backs have been against the wall for so long this summer split here. As now Quid versus Kaze is again going to be a match to highlight for sure. The Cassiopeia counter pick onto Kaze, who has gone blind pick all 3 games so far.
10 gold lead for that Cassiopeia.
Yeah, there you go.
They killed the ward.
Good point.
Wow.
Back it up. GG. 100 Thieves going to Worlds.
I am curious to see too, because Thinkard kind of brought it up as far as the lane assignments possibilities later for 100 Thieves. Having a Sion and having a Ziggs gives you a lot of options because the Ziggs, notoriously known for being able to wave clear quite well later on, as well as take down those towers if they do swap around.
Well, and as we see the lane assignments now, right? FNB, who is theoretically playing the Smolder top, is bot lane with this Rakan. Meanwhile, Rabelo on the Kaisa is actually leaning against the Sion on this top side.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of these swaps where the AD carries go top lane, where top laners go bot lane. It's just funny that in this instance, it's 2 AD carries in both positions. But the Smolder will try his best to stack up down there while the top lane shove comes through for Rabelo.
Yeah, and this is where I also think mid lane prio is going to be really huge here, as I want to see what junglers are going to do around the mid lane. A little bit of damage going down on both sides.
I want to point out the Lee Sin route here for River as well. So this is a popular route on stuff like Zed that can clear super fast, but you do the first 3 camps, or not on Zed, on other champions. He did the first 3 camps to grab his longsword on the first back. So he is going to have this like small purchase advantage for a fight on the top side if they do decide to fight up there. And Sejuani will finish the full clear a little bit earlier because not going for the recall, but I want to see if the longsword start actually means something for River.
I think you're right, Kobe. It was on Zed. I remember Tarzan doing it on Zed.
Zed can do the full clear. Zed does a similar thing.
Doesn't have to.
Zed clears so fast that he does full clear and gets 2 long swords.
More damage bot side as FNB has to flash early. Level 3, 3.5 minutes into the game, almost goes down.
So
yeah, almost goes down, and the heal burned as well from Frosty.
I want to see topside, yeah, because this is what we're talking about. Lee Sin with the extra longsword comes on the timing for the dive for River.
Perfect timing.
This is really nicely
Dokla's got a full stacked wave under here. Rabelo's got flash and ghost, already pops the ghost as Dhokla starts tanking up the turret. That's flash from Rabelo. He's fighting in the wave. Dhokla will sacrifice his life for this. River taking up too many turret shots though. A 2-for-1 trade in favor of Rabelo.
And that's massive. Rabelo getting both of those kills on a slightly botched dive on the top side from 100 Thieves. I did like how they set it up. The execution, not as good.
Yeah.
Okay, so they need more than 1 extra longsword's worth of damage, I guess.
Turret does more than 1 longsword. I think that's what we just learned.
That Kaisa. That is big stuff for Red, though, in a must-win game in this series with so much on the line. For Rabelo here, you know, lane swap up on the top side, 1v2. Let's see what he can dodge. He dodges away from the E initially from Dhokla, then he flashes there, the Q charge, and just creates enough distance under tower. 100 Thieves had clearly made the call. They're okay with Dhokla dying, but they were probably not okay with also River dying.
He's still laughing. River can be such a troll, especially when you look at him in comms. As we take a quick look at Rabelo, because we've talked so much about these 3 players who kind of got promoted from Red's Academy team. We've talked a lot about Doom. We've definitely talked a lot about Kaze because of how good he's been. But Rabelo, I think, was one that surprised so many people because he just started playing League of Legends not that long ago, was a former professional Free Fire player prior to becoming a League of Legends AD carry.
Yeah, and now he's on stage getting 1v2 double kills under tower.
There you go.
As 100 Thieves tried to dive him.
With his mid laner popping off for him as well. I love how these teams are so supportive of each other. We show the replay. It's not the player themselves popping off, but the teammate alongside him. But Rabelo with that 2-1 lead now picks up the recurve bow and the cull. So going to be stacking that cull up, getting a little ahead as Dhokla also answers back. And no further lane swaps. It's still Rabelo in that top lane at 1v1 versus Dhokla.
Yeah, he feels pretty confident up there. And Sejuani does her second clear all the way up to that top side as well. So it's going to have a little time after the full second clear. Isn't quite level 6. Would need a Scuttle Crab as well on top to get to the level 6 for the truly potent Sejuani gank. But looks like he's just going to head on over. Bottom side is where the Scuttle Crab spawns. So Sejuani is out of luck up there on the top side. And River's going to jump on that one.
Yep, and we saw a little bit of harassment coming out of Eyla just being kind of obnoxious to Frosty as he's trying to place that vision down. They get that cleared out. Meanwhile, Dhokla doing a little bit of dirty farming on the top side.
Ooh, they actually find an engage here onto Kaze. Quid logging him down. Bench find Gaze in. And a kill to 100 Thieves' mid laner.
And the big difference maker here is the duo lane moving up so quickly. Eyla instantly flashes there to go for the engage.
Ayla's got flank right now. FNB could be in some trouble. Still doesn't have the flash from the earlier play, so Frosty's trying to keep him alive. Ayla goes under the turret, takes 2 turret shots, and has to walk away. Big damage onto Frosty, but Red get their top laner and support to safety.
Yeah, I thought they might be able to follow up there. Eyla took a few too many turret shots on the little attempted wraparound, potentially onto the Smolder or the Rakan. So Rakan should be able to just TP back to this lane as Doom is actually starting up this Drake now off of that play.
But we see Dhokla walking down already. Quid just reset though, so no TP. I thought maybe there'd be a window 100 Thieves could look to contest, but no, they actually are going for the resets. This is a clean dragon for Red.
That's a really nice recognition of the window that Red had, right? When 100 Thieves weren't able to get the kill, they weren't able to kind of push that wave up, and it changes a dynamic that we've seen from the past 2 games, right? Where it was 100 Thieves getting this early Drake stacking, really relying on that to kind of bait Red into potentially disadvantageous fights or contest them themselves. You never know with 100 Thieves. However, nice pickup for Red. And once again, I think even though 100 Thieves are slightly ahead here, they're in a pretty stable position in this early game.
Yeah, and I want to see where the first Sejuani ult does get used for Doom here. So you've got a timer where Rakan has roam timer and Sejuani has ult. So that is just like mega engage possibilities. They're going to use it first with the Rakan roaming up to the top side to finish the push. But here goes
to Quid. Petrifying Gaze is still on cooldown here. It'll be up in a couple of seconds, but Doom does not fully commit to the play.
Now we see waiting in a brush from Frosty and Rabelo. They'll show themselves. We're going to be scrapping over the grubs. How do you like that, Kobe, as your first Sej ult prediction? I
do like it, actually. The only thing is that Quid's ulti is ready too for Cassio, so he could do like a flash Cassio play here if 100 Thieves want to fight him on it. So I guess Red got a little nervous. So like, we'll take one for sure with our smite, the secure one. But as soon as 100 Thieves start to collapse from their lanes, they vacate, and we actually don't get blood.
I'm surprised. We're learning. So that means 100 Thieves will end up with this objective, despite the one grub claimed from Red. So that would be neat for them, even up in objectives with Red having claimed the first Drake. But yeah, I mean, this Cassio is already kind of such a big threat now that her ult is back up. So Red peel off. They might be looking to overload here, though.
Well, more progressively, they had Sejuani, but Eyla and FBI were able to back off in time. FBI throws up the laughter and the energy emote. And 100 Thieves are safe.
He's laughing because that gives up a mid-wave at the moment.
Ooh.
You know, that is a little bit costly there. Cassiopeia pushes another one in, and that is just going to straight up die to the tower. So the recall is also good for Cassio. So this has been very nice for Quid.
Dhokla landed the full charge Q onto FNB, so then goes for the ultimate. FNB answers with his own flash. Flap away. Dhokla really punishing FNBs for the approach.
Yeah, I mean, now that flash is off of the Smolder, though, as we see Rakan and Sejuani kind of both shadowing over onto this bot side. But that's big, right? We'll see if 100 Thieves will be able to punish the flashless Smolder at all in the next minute or so.
No dragon to fight for 2 minutes, but still will not have that cooldown for that dragon fight if it breaks out. Red had gotten that first one. It might put a stall to their stacking as Eyla has the Hex Flash, doesn't want to commit over the wall. Frosty was there to help out Rabelo anyway, so didn't really expect much there. But only 4 kills in 11 minutes here, a more tempered game, I'd say, this time around. Although they've all ramped up throughout the game, I'd say.
Yeah, exactly. Turn up the pace as soon as people start getting some items, maybe. And some items are starting to come in, at least on the 100 Thieves side. The first ones here starting to trickle in. We did mention Quid had got a really good recall, and so he had perfect gold there, so he finished his Rod of Ages. And as well as started stacking the tier pretty early on. So the Cassio with the double stacking, mana was on a very nice curve for 100 Thieves, but Red still have some decent options for themselves. Even though FNB doesn't have his flash, he has been stacking pretty frequently. So you'll have to keep that in the back of your minds for later. Of course, he's only at 94 right now, almost 95. So still definitely a long ways to go.
And I just want to bring up a general trend that I noticed here. It's been 100 Thieves making a lot of the action happen. They got 2 kills to 2, but the 2 kills that Red picked up were a dive, and 100 Thieves are going for another dive. No flash on FNB, and they say, why wait for the dragon to spawn when we can kill a baby dragon under turret? It's Eyla with the kill credit.
Yeah.
The angry cow gets the last kill here, and I love when Ziggs can just like roam a quarter of the way to the lane to be able to add the Ziggs damage over there. Yeah, the alley-ope. Usually it's like, oh, 2 tanks, I could probably be okay.
Yeah.
But Ziggs bomb is the difference maker there, the extra bit of damage, and now
play here onto River. Doom looks for the engagement. Eyla trying to keep his jungler safe. Now he's frontlining. Rabelo's getting a lot of damage in onto the Alistar. Does pick up the kill. Teleport coming in from the flank. Rabelo hit by the Dragon's Rage, and now it's Quid coming in. Petrifying Gaze only lands on a 1, but Frosty will fall down. Rabelo walking into all the Ziggs damage as Kaze even joins up with a fight in the TP. End of the day, it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Support's falling.
That's more like it with the scramble on mid that we see. As soon as Quid teleports in, he's like, oh, I got to slither out of here. And does make it back to safety in the end. They do answer with the extra kill onto the support. But I think it could have been worse for 100 Thieves. But Eyla has some nice little peel here on the Sejuani engage. They go for the combo. He's like, okay, I'm going to instantly go in. I'll pop my ultimate. But still, this early on, he's not able to soak enough. The kick here from River makes enough time for Quid to then teleport in, and Rabelo's a bit scared, so he has to use his Kaisa ult to get under tower and get the extra shield. They still get the trailing extra kill, though.
I'm impressed that Rabelo was able to live there. Quid wasn't confident enough to go for that kill. Instead, like you said, was like, I gotta get out of here. I don't want to give up my own life for this. Rabelo is where a lot of the gold is for Red, though, right now. He's the one with a gold lead currently, as Dragon is started up. So if Red are going to pull anything off, I imagine it will be around the Kaisa, who is nowhere near this objective.
Yeah, and as we see the Sion headed topside, they will have a small window where they have TP advantage, as we see Quid just pushing in this wave. Bot, River will be able to claim this Drake, and they might just turn on to Doom.
Yeah, they got the Cassiopeia for damage, but Doom will walk away. Dragon secured.
And you mentioned Dhokla. I mean, Dhokla has been getting a lot of Sion value here. A lot of the gold lead that he has is from turret plates that he's been pushing in. Of course, he's kept up his farm really nicely, which is big for your Soul Furnace, but also getting extra money off of turret plates as well for the team, and he's laughing himself to the bank as well.
He got the Cole first, or rather finished the Cole first over Rabelo as well, because he's just been farming, pushing. Rabelo trying to group up with the team in some of these smaller skirmishes here. As we see the plate gold, a lot of that picked up there by Dhokla.
Yeah, on all of it to the side there of 100 Thieves. Let's see, with the Rift Herald spawning up here, Eyla and Quid are first in position, but there's some deep wards that saw them kind of rotate over there that Red have up over on that blue quadrant of the jungle. So they...
100 Thieves have a trap laid. Doom has damage behind him, so they instead just go straight in onto the Smolder, grounded up, stunned up, taken down. Quid on a killing spree now, as 100 Thieves had target selection priority on the carry. Now they're on to Doom, under the turret. That dive is successful. Double kill to Quid.
Kangas, what? Can I get a second episode?
Okay, wait, Kaze 1v1 under his turret? Was that the second episode you were asking for?
I was going to say second episode of the Quid show.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Season 2?
It seemed like they just decided to fund it on the top side of the map, so it's gotten greenlit, and we are now in the process of making the second episode of the Quid show. But bottom side, Kaze here now has 2 people.
Has to realm warp away and does have the time to do so he's out of there. But the Herald's targeted by River, and it is still the Quid show. 4-0-0. The second season's been greenlit. And filming has already begun as well.
I love that. I hate when my favorite shows get canceled.
Right?
And I love the Quid show. I also really liked how 100 Thieves were able to set this up on the top side of the map, right? Kind of waiting, really good target selection, like you pointed out. And then off of that top side pressure, able to end up getting the Rift Herald, having claimed feats as well. And this entire wave is just potentially, oh no, Ryze will get it.
And FMB is nicely on track with those Smolder stacking. He is at 144 at the moment, and only 16 and a half minutes in the game. As we just saw, got a look at the breakpoint. So he's stacking well, even though a lot of other things are going well for 100 Thieves.
Yep.
Maybe you can always tell your team, we're scaling, don't worry, let me get my 225, and then we'll talk.
That's when the Smolder wants to come online, but again, Rabelo does have still a lead over FBI. 1,000 as the Herald will charge mid, does not crack the entire turret, so no turrets have fallen on either side. But Rabelo really is like the thing keeping Red in this game. It's a 3,000 gold lead to 100 Thieves otherwise. A lot of that being on the top lane, a little bit in the jungle as well. But if this Kaisa can do some damage, it's big for them. Turret is claimed by the Ziggs with the cheat code, so 100 Thieves will finally crack a structure.
Yep, you gotta love Ziggs, you know? How you just move him around the map and turrets die.
I can hear the love in your voice, Emily.
I just love when that happens. I
believe APA called it the Ziggs special.
Yeah,
I mean,
the Ziggs special.
This wasn't exactly what he was referring to, but I think it's a general term enough. Red are trying to defend their own control ward here in this tri-brush, and we're just fighting for it regardless. There's also a dive top lane. River just kicks FNB into the wall and shuts him down.
Yeah, FNB is in a really, really tough spot if they ever decide to go in on him. This is going to be yet another turret for the Thieves as Rabelo goes in.
Rabelo actually went very aggressive with the ultimate, but Eyla's got his own, so not enough damage from Red, no answer.
He also has an unbreakable will.
He does.
Courtesy of Alistar.
Oh, but they just recommit for it. Oh, Eyla went in for the counter blow, but Quid! Petrifying Gaze onto 3! Double kill to FBI, set up by Quid, knocked down by his AD carry.
The Petrifying Gaze, the Ziggs ult on top of it. They didn't even need Dhokla. He was TPing him on the back half of that fight, but they did not need him, and now this game is blown wide open for 100 Thieves. 7K gold lead. Quid sitting at a cool 5-0-2. This is a very scary snake, Kobe.
Yeah, episode 2 is looking good to me as well. This is action-packed. So Red made the initial engage because of the top side play. They're like, hey, we have an extra person on bottom side. Let's force it. But look at this. He puts down the miasma, so the Kaisa's grounded, and then he gets all 3 of them in the Petrifying Gaze.
Incredible stuff. Hard to nail a sequel, but I'm getting tickets to this show here. Quid is popping off right now. And again, FBI, the hype man as usual.
So he got a pentakill in the original. Can he follow up with another penta in the sequel? That would be pretty crazy. Regardless, he's in a commanding spot in the game, as are 100 Thieves. After the kind of map control, after getting kills on both sides of the map, which is fairly rare to win plays on both sides of the map simultaneously. They do get the Dragon too.
But to your point, Kobe, the power scaling is kind of thrown out the window already. I mean, we peaked early in episode 1, and they beat it now.
We had too good of a premiere to the Quid show.
I know, yeah. Now we got to introduce like aliens or something to make it exciting.
But now, if we're looking at where 100 Thieves are at, I mean, they were able to clean up that Drake perfectly free. They've taken over, if you look at the vision on this bot side of the map, completely taken over here as they're pushing up. It's just going to be really difficult for these squishy carries, in particular FNB, who has had a really hard time stepping up anywhere. We're going in again.
Yeah, he thought maybe he could just engage onto Quid all alone, but River and Eyla were both in the pocket, so Quid's got backup. Red do not have many options right now. It really does feel like they're just waiting for that Smolder to scale.
And as we see if something else will happen on this bot side, Dhokla is coming from the base!
From the base! Engage into all members. He looked cool. Maybe not advised, as the rest of 100 Thieves cannot back him up, but he can flash over the wall. He's still alive. He's out of there. No Eyla for the re-engage. FNB throws in the Smolder ultimate for damage. Rabelo looking for it as well onto Eyla. Rooted up, taken down. 100 Thieves will lose their support, but the Petrifying Gaze lands on one member.
Oh my god.
A chaotic fight as Kaze, still healthy, will push back the Thieves.
I was going to point out, oh, Dhokla's dirty farming. Look at him. As I was about to say that, he pops ult, comes in around from
what a mad lad.
behind the base. 100 Thieves are getting a little aggressive here. I did not think this was going to work out.
This is
I really didn't think this was going to work out.
But it was funny, Kobe. Have you given that a thought?
It was funny, Kangas. You're right. He wins the game of Red Rover, and he gets back to his team eventually, but then his team gets melted.
What the f*** is that?
Thank you. He said it. We're all thinking it. We're all thinking it.
We're not allowed to say that.
Play. Dhokla was the one that called for that play.
He
Can
did
we
call for
infer that?
Yeah.
He's just coming around the side. The rest of his team was not expecting him.
Oh, we got an Otacon start here by the Thieves, by the way. Let's look at the teleports. FNB has it. Kaze has it, but they have no vision. Now they do, so they know that it's happening. Do Red Canids want to contest? I mean, it's already down to half health. Cassiopeia just shreds this thing, and they have the smite as well, so Otacon stolen away here. Thieves in the night to 100 Thieves.
I don't know if it was stolen. They had complete
well, I'm
control.
using again the
theirs.
Thieves thing, you know, stealing away, you know.
Yeah. It was theirs.
The
gotta be careful.
The best time to steal
vision.
stuff is when no one is watching it.
Exactly.
True.
Yeah.
They cleared out the security cameras, aka setup vision. they pushed it out.
It's like reverse security
They pushed up really far on bot side, maybe a little too too far into the enemy base, as we saw from that team fight we just went over. But yeah, completely free Otacon going over to 100 Thieves. They still are in such a commanding control of this game.
Yeah, Dhokla got in their heads. The mind-boggling play.
Yes.
He could be coming from anywhere.
Call that the mind breaker. Like, what are they supposed to do about that? All right, well, 100 Thieves get the Otacon. And now the next objective will be in a minute and a half with this dragon. But in classic fashion, they're just staring out against each other here in Red's topside jungle. Even though there's nothing to really fight for, the Thieves are still just trying to take all this territory away.
Okay, so Smolder has passed his 225. He's at 230 stacks now. Are you ready? They are only 8,000 gold behind, and an extra dragon behind, and an Otacon behind.
And now flash behind, as FNB has to flash away from another engage. Dhokla has played so aggressive with the Realm Warp. Everybody in onto the Sion, knocks up 2 with the Q, but River does not want to go in on that fight. Dhokla will be punished for his over-aggression in the side lane. Shut down gold to FNB.
Shutdown actually kind of big here. All right, he's got his stacks ready. Now he can get his execute ready. He's got his Sojin all ready to complement. Let's see what 100 Thieves can do, though. They got 1 tower in payment for Big Dokes. Would you take that deal?
I think I'd take that deal. I mean, when you're...
Even if it's a shutdown to Smolder?
Well, I thought you were saying from Red's side. Yes.
Yeah.
I think you need gold on this Smolder right here. So if you're saying from 100 Thieves side, no, I'm not taking that deal. I'm not taking that one.
Yeah, I mean, I actually really like the way that Red set up that play. Again, like, I feel like their carries in particular, we saw it from FNB on the Galio previously. Here we see it from Kaze. It's kind of a team call to use the Realm Warp to overload, get on to Dhokla. 100 Thieves do clean up that turret mid, and it is still going to be a little difficult for Red to kind of contest 100 Thieves head on, as Dokla's now back on the map.
Engage comes through here. The Glacial Prison lands with the Smolder ultimate on top, but not enough damage to really go all in, and I think Red are going to have to back off right now. The Dragon has spawned, but they do have TP for Kaze, so he goes, heals back up in the base, can look to re-engage.
They have TP for Kaze, but they also don't have those ultimates anymore, right? So we'll see how they necessarily want to contest this if they do.
Looks like they're backing off. Yeah, without the engage tool of the Sejuani ult and the damage from Smolder ult, it is a 3rd dragon secured by the Thieves.
Okay, next up, rotate over to that Baron and rinse and repeat. Sejuani ultimate is still down, so they're going to head right on over to this area, look if they can get some bait action going on, if anyone from Red will face check.
So far, it's just Kaze nearby as he's on that top wave. Looks to go for another reset here. River's just taking away all the jungle camps now, suffocating that gold lead, giving so few options for Red to even get back into this game. I mean, the Raptors are spawning here soon for Doom, but like this Sejuani just cannot get gold in their pocket.
Yeah, and Kaze sticks up here for another wave after he saw all those 100 Thieves members moving into this top side of the map, getting that vision down. Around the Baron area, Frosty is going to replace some of Red's vision there. So now, yeah, it really is just kind of a scrap for vision for Red. See if they can get some sort of neutral objective setup where they can use the Realm Warp cleverly like they did before, where they can get the Smolder damage down and the damage potentially coming in from this Kaisa to assassinate a prio target like the Ziggs, like the Cassio.
And it's at that point in the game where I want to remind everybody, this is backs against a wall for Red Canids. If they lose this game, if they lose this next fight, their entire year might be over in Tier 1 competitive League of Legends. It's going to be a long ride to make it to Dallas and Worlds, but it would start with a Game 3 win. They are heavily backs against the wall.
And for this next fight, FBI did just lock in his hat there, so those Ziggs bombs are going to be doing even more damage.
Ooh, River goes very far forward, looks to find a pick onto Doom. Dragon rages him back, but now he's engaged on. It's jungler for jungler, as now Eyla, new frontline, Dhokla tags in as well. Quid's walking forward very aggressively. Cassiopeia is trying to like dance around, figure out which way to go, and it's in onto Kaze. They have the damage. The poison surely finds it. Dhokla with the kill credit, but now Dhokla could be in some trouble. FNB, the Smolder damage coming through. Rabelo now finds himself in a 1v2. He'll get one, but is taken down. 100 Thieves get aggressive in Red's jungle and will win the fight with a 2-for-3.
All right, FNB, he could flap around looking for people, but it is a little bit dangerous.
The important thing is that the smites went down, so I don't think anybody gets Baron off of that type of play.
Yeah, the junglers,
The junglers
go
went down too.
instantly. So junglers, as you say, they're going to go down instantly here because River wants to kill Doom, so he kicks him back, but then Sejuani bumps him right back in, so they get blown up. Then we've got the re-engage here for Eyla, and Dhokla barely curves his ultimate around that wall, so he gets into range here and can get his Q onto Kaze to knock him up and interrupt the Realm Warp. So they do get that extra kill. Then in the end, we have the supports going down.
Oh,
Wait.
and whoa, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a death cap
Wait.
Ziggs ult right there. Frosty just gets picked right as we come back into live, so that means no support for Red as the Baron has started.
Yeah, I didn't see how that's set up, but I assume he just walked over a ward, and 100 Thieves saw the potential for the pick, so now they will be on this Baron, and it looks like Red are not even going to contest this. You already see Ryze pushing in on this bot side of the map, and the rest of Red kind of following.
Was it just Sion sitting on a control ward and he just Q channeled?
Oh,
Yeah, he just Q
Yeah.
channeled. He's on a control ward and he just Q channels to set up the Ziggs bomb.
Oof.
Nice. That's all it takes.
Bam.
The control ward here opens up a space for the Assassin Sion to set up.
And now it's a 10,000 gold lead plus the Baron power play coming through here for 100 Thieves. Such few options for Red Canids at this point in the game. They're going to have to find a miracle right now. It's 2 items on the Smolder, full stacked, but just doesn't have that many items to get through the armor of Dhokla, to get through the health bar of River and Quid.
Yeah, Dhokla literally has 4 items to Smolder's 2
Yup.
at the moment. And Dragon is approaching very quickly. Dragon Soul only 45 seconds away.
Well, that answers that question. FMB just purchased an entire item right there, so
Yeah.
rapid fire cannon completed. Now it's 3 items, but still that doesn't help you get through the armor as much. It just helps you get some damage from afar and spread that passive. Let's see. Ooh, aggressive from Quid right here, flashing in on the Kaze, but he's able to walk away. No flash in on the Cassiopeia, but now the rest of 100 Thieves engaging onto the front line. It's Doom who's got a flash to safety. Red are just getting pincered in the mid lane. In goes River. Can't quite find it from the quickness, but now Eyla to the turret. Dhokla with a knockup as well. 100 Thieves want to end this game, end this series right here, right now. Red under their inhibitor turrets will fall. 100 Thieves will stand tall. Red Canids picked up a series win against North earlier last weekend, but they will not do it again. 100 Thieves look to march in and take this game.
This weekend, the North goes 6-0 versus the South.
100 Thieves have 1 member of Red in front of them. The heist is going international. A 3-0 for 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves are going to Worlds.
We heard it from Dhokla when you talked to him at the beginning of the day, Kobe. Last time, qualified for Worlds on this side. This time, we're qualifying for Worlds on the other side of the stage. Fantastic games from 100 Thieves. Very fun games from 100 Thieves as well. They were really enjoying themselves today while they punched that ticket.
Yeah, they were definitely having some fun there. A lot of loose plays, especially.
Quid was
once
feeling
they
it,
got
man.
fed. Yeah.
I mean, he gets the pentakill, but right before that, the golden idol there at the end flashing for the final play as well.
Yeah, as we see 100 Thieves take a victorious bow. That Sion ult is going right next to the Huanfeng Jin ult for
right next to
weirdest
it.
base plays, you know?
And you got to give credit to Red for trying the best they could. I mean, Shopify's one thing, but 100 Thieves are a different opponent, and they really showed up. Kobe, you said it's 6-0 for the North here in this weekend. And this was one that I'll admit I was a little concerned for as well. I mean, even with FlyQuest having a different top laner than they've played most of the season here with 100 Thieves, we know how volatile they can sometimes be, but they cleaned it up. But well played to Red Canids Kalunga. Take your bow, fought their hearts out, and push 100 Thieves.
Yeah, and I mean, I think today at the beginning of the day, I was like, this is either going to be a messy 3-2 or it's going to be a 3-0 with how similar these two teams are, right? I think where Red kind of fell flat was in these cross-map plays the 100 Thieves were able to do, and I think that's where the unsung hero of all of this actually ends up being Dhokla, right? Not only did the Sion kind of set up for so much in that game 3, but this kind of game, the Sion, the Rumble, is exactly what they wanted to see out of them. But now it's time for another episode of the Quid Show featuring Azale.
Thank you very much, Emily. I'm here with Quid. Quid, first ever pentakill. You just qualified for Worlds. How are you feeling?
I'm really happy we can keep going with this roster, and yeah, I'm just really happy.
The ride continues. The fans are loving it. How does it feel to be getting this much support from the crowd here? You know, it's the last run for 100 Thieves. Not the last run for Quid, though.
I mean, it's really thankful that people cheering us and enjoying our gameplay, and yeah, I'm just happy we can keep showing our game.
So, yeah, let's hear it for Quid. How did you feel about the actual series today? Because, you know, coming in, I think people were thinking, you know, Red Canids looked pretty strong against Shopify. They were able to take them down. Kaze had a really good series there, but today it just felt like you were in complete control. You know, even in some difficult situations like the Silas game where Oriana got first blood at level 1, you were able to really take over in a lot of these games.
To be honest, I was quite scared because, yeah, Kaze looks pretty scary in Shopify series, and game 1, I tried to land my spare on Azure, and I missed some of the spares, and I feel like, oh, this guy has mechanism. And I was a bit nervous, but after we won game 1, I feel better, and yeah, we played pretty good, I think.
So how are you feeling about the next potential matchup then? You're going to be going to Texas, you're going to be going to Worlds, but you're still playing for the LTA finals here. So you have a chance to play against VKS. That will obviously be on Saturday. Have you thought at all about that matchup yet, or what you think about that team?
I think VK is way stronger than Red, in my opinion, and I think it's going to be a fun series.
Well, we're going to be really looking forward to it. Congratulations, Quid. Great performance from you. Let's hear it for Quid one more time. Back to Lounge to close out the day.
Thank you.